Hi there. Welcome. My name is Maeve. Whether you've been with me before or you're just arriving, my goal is to help you improve your relationships and live a more lucid life and gain more self-awareness. Today, let's discuss how to make requests that actually work. Have you ever dropped a hint, prayed someone would just get it, and then ended up frustrated when they didn't? We've all been there, and that's why I want to talk to you about requests, one of the most powerful tools in nonviolent communication. A request in nonviolent communication is not about bossing someone around or putting them on the spot. It's about creating a bridge between what's alive in you and what could meet that need. But here's the catch. Many of us confuse requests with demands. If I say, "Would you listen to me for a second?" but secretly mean, "and you better say yes or I'll lose it," that's not really a request. That's a demand in disguise. In my experience as a child, I heard demands a lot. My father would say, "Are you going to help with the chores?" And you knew that if you didn't comply, chaos would ensue. So what makes a request different? Two things. Clarity. It's specific and doable, something the other person can actually say yes or no to. Number two, there's choice. Their no is just as welcome as their yes, because if they can't say no, then their yes doesn't actually mean anything. It's a gentle invitation of, would you be willing to honor this for me or support me in getting it met? Requests are received as demands when listeners think they might be blamed or punished if they don't comply. And we ourselves are subtly demanding instead of requesting when we can't accept someone's no without empathy or understanding for why they are resisting. Here's a few examples. Instead of "don't ignore me," try "would you be willing to let me know if now is a good time to talk?" Or instead of "I wish you cared more," try "would you be open to calling me once this week to check in?" And my personal favorite, instead of silently slamming kitchen cabinets, hoping they'll notice you're upset, try "would you be willing to sit with me for 10 minutes while I vent?" The difference is the first version either pushes away or leaves someone guessing. The second version opens a door. We are also conditioned to be so vague with our requests. Sometimes it's due to a fear of truly being seen, and sometimes it's because we have never actually even thought deeply enough what we desire. For example, we all say we want more love, but what does that look like? How could you request something specific from a partner or a friend that would actually make you feel more loved? Is it a hug? Is it to check in with you via a message every day? Is it to be bought flowers once a month? There are some moments where the commentary is like an unwrapped gift. You don't know if you're supposed to open it, ignore it, or pass it along. For example, person A is like, "Oh, it's freezing in here." And then the other person is like, do they want me to close the window, turn up the heat, hand them a blanket, or just nod in sympathy? Their hidden request or need might be for warmth or comfort, and a clear request version would be, "would you be willing to close the window?" Another vague example, "we never hang out anymore." And the other person's like, is that an accusation, an invitation, a guilt trip? Their hidden need might be for more quality time, and they could request that, "would you like to go for a walk together on Sunday afternoon?" Person A, "other couples are so affectionate." And the other person's like, do they want me to hold their hand, plan a date, watch a rom-com with them? Their hidden need might be affection or connection, and they could ask for that by saying, "would you be willing to hold my hand while we walk to the car?" It's also common for people to be so unaware of their needs or requests and not even know what their intentions are, or say something and claim, "oh, they just felt like saying it." But the author of Nonviolent Communication believes that whenever someone says something to another person, they are requesting something in return, even if that's just to be seen or heard. And sometimes they just need a silent acknowledgement, like a nod, an honest reflection, or for it to be reaffirmed back to them. Let's expand on the layer for requests for reflection and honesty. When the request isn't for an action, but it's for a reflection, we might say, would you be able to reflect that back, what you heard me say, so I can know that I was clear? Or would you be open to telling me what feelings or thoughts came up when you hear this? This kind of request isn't about getting agreement, it's about building understanding. And since it's so rare for people to do, and we're not really taught this at all, they might retort or get defensive and say something like, I'm not stupid, I heard you, quit being a robot. And just empathize with them, like you really just want to make sure that you're communicating effectively. Often our egos hear different things than what was being intended to say. For instance, your spouse might come home from work and they request a little bit of space. Your ego might hear, oh, they don't want to see me for the rest of the night, when really they just needed like 15 minutes to settle home. So if they didn't hear you correctly, you never want to say, that's not what I said, or you misunderstood me. We can thank them for their reflection and say something like, let me try to communicate a different way. I can see that I didn't communicate as clear as I would like. So they could say, actually, I just need space for like 15 minutes and then we can watch a movie together. One of the most courageous requests we can make is, what did you hear me say? What did your ego hear me say? Lastly, if you find yourself in a conversation that seems to be meeting no one's needs, I'm sure you've been there, where someone just keeps talking and talking on and on. You can ask, what response would you like? Or what is your intention for sharing? Or thank you for sharing when you feel satisfied, and that might encourage them to move on to something else. Or you can even say, can I pause you real quick? Would you be willing to take a deep breath together? And that kind of brings them back into the room. Most conflicts don't come from our needs being wrong, but from how we try to get them met. Requests are a way of saying, my needs matter and yours do too. Can we find a way together? It's vulnerable because the truth is you might hear a no, and that might be difficult to receive. But in nonviolent communication, even a no is a gift because it points to what's alive in the other person, and it's a starting place, not a dead end. And it also teaches us how to empathize and not take it personally. So the next time you feel that urge to hint, to demand, or to swallow your need altogether, pause, ask yourself, what do I really long for right now? And then turn it into a clear, doable, choice-filled request. And I'll leave you with this one. Would you be willing to experiment with one nonviolent communication request in your life this week? Just one. Notice what happens. Because when we start making requests instead of demands, connection becomes possible. And connection is really all we're striving for. And I also would love to invite you to leave a comment and share your experience. And again, I just want to thank you for being here. And if you find these videos helpful, please like and subscribe and share with someone who might need to hear these things. And I hope you have a blessed day and week. See you next time. So the topics I've discussed today come from this book by Marshall Rosenberg. I highly recommend that you grab yourself a copy. It was one of the most life-changing books I ever read, and I think the world would be a better place if everyone could read it. You can grab yourself a copy using my affiliate link below, and I appreciate you so much. Thank you for being here.